I am Teddy Atlas, here to talk to you again. One of the videos we put out every month with dynamic striking. Again, hope you guys are enjoying. And again, more importantly, or just as importantly, hope you're learning from the instructional fight videos that I'm putting out with dynamic striking BJJ fanatics. We've put up 6 of them, 7th will be coming very soon. So, another story about boxing that is about the mind. Again, I always say 75% of this game, or the UFC game, MMA game, anything where there's so much at risk, where there's a threat, where there's big choices to be made under pressure. Choices of finding a way or finding a way out. The mind comes into play more than the body. Customato, my teacher, always said that fear was the biggest opponent that we were dealing with. A man learns how to control his fear, his emotions, discipline those, well, then he has a chance to be great. Then he has a chance to develop whatever skills, techniques, whatever abilities he's been given, to be able to develop them to their utmost. And maybe to a great height. But you have to control your fear. So here's the story. I love stories. And I think we all do. And here's another one. True story. Customato told me that way back, not sure exactly what year it was, but it was quite a few years ago. Might have been the 60s. Could have been the 60s, late 50s. It was a fight in New England. It was on the undercard. Sam Silverman was the promoter, the great Sam Silverman. He used to promote all the fights in the New England area. He kept boxing alive in the New England area. So much to the point he was going back and forth so much with his cards every night. He was a real boxing guy. We should have more of them. Every day, every night, he was driving from site to site to site, promoting fights around the New England area, to the point where one day he died in a car crash, fell asleep, and driving from one to another. And Cuz told me this particular night, the show, it was a 6-round fight, and Cuz was there. Cuz had one of the guys, and it turned out to be a draw, but it was the fight of the night, 6-round draw. Young guys. And the one fighter that Cuz was talking about was, well, he was very young. And you could imagine the hell they went through in this fight. You know, it was just a war for 6 rounds. So when the fight's over with, they get through, the fight's over with, the fighter comes in the locker room, and, you know, he just flops down, and all of a sudden, right behind him, the door opens up, and it's the promoter yelling to the fighter's trainer, handler, and manager. I want it back in 2 weeks. And immediately the trainer, the handler, they didn't ask the fighters in those days, you got it, you got it. Well, the fighter who had just fought this war, right, you know, a little while earlier, he almost died right there. Like, I gotta do this again in 2 weeks? Oh my God. How the hell am I gonna get through this? But he can't say nothing, because then he's not a fighter, right? Then he's called yellow, right? So he absorbs it, he goes on, and, well, for the next 2 weeks he suffers. He can't eat right, he can't sleep right, but he's training, he's doing what he's supposed, he's doing his job. See, there's a lesson for life. Again, I like to give these lessons where he might not have felt like it, but he was still doing his job. He was still doing what he was responsible to do. So anyway, he goes through these 2 weeks training, getting ready for the fight, and again, just, it's on his mind. He's petrified, basically. It's on his mind every day. When he finally gets to the date of the fight, gets into the arena, same feeling, no different. Gets there, gets in the locker room, you know, you go through the waiting in the locker room, which is so hard, because your imagination can take advantage of you. Because what you do in the ring is what you do in the ring is real, it's tangible. You've done it before. But the imagination, well, for all these, imagination of something is always worse than the doing of it. So the imagination, just like the 2 weeks leading up to the fight, well, it makes it worse because there's no limits on it. There's limits on the actual doing, but not the imagination. So anyway, he's in a locker room, and it's just, again, it's difficult. Gets up to the point where they say, okay, get ready, get your robe. He got his hand wraps. Get your robes, get the Vaseline on, get the gloves on, right? He's going. Feels this awful weight, but he's going. And then all of a sudden the door slams open, and it's the promoter, that same promoter. Comes in cursing, screaming, grunting. He says, that son of a b, he'll never fight again for me, or I'll make sure I blackball him. He never fights anywhere in the New England area ever again. The opponent didn't show up. Wow. Cuss always said that the only difference between a hero and a coward in a war situation was in what they did. There was no difference in what they felt. They both felt the same, scared. What they did, well, that separated them. Well, exactly what happened here. The fighter obviously was scared to death, but he never realized that his opponent was feeling the same way. He thought he was the only one who felt that way. Well, the other guy was feeling the same way all along, but he allowed it to get the better of him. This kid didn't. He was ready to do it. As scared as he was ready to do his job, be a pro. And the other guy gave into those feelings. Well, that's the lesson. That's the story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, for all of you out there, whatever you do, it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't. Find the discipline, find the strength, despite how you feel, like this kid did, to do your job. See you later.